Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amy. If you're new here, welcome. I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I've been reading because it's been a while since I've actually sat down and talked about the books that I've read in the past few weeks. I've been super busy. So if you like what you see here, hit the like button. I just wanted to say, if you want to leave a comment, please leave me an emoji. Let me know that you've been here, something that just represents yourself or just represents how you're feeling. And also, if you want to see more of my face, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon and you will know when I do post a video. So let's get on to some of the things that we need to start unpackaging. Get it? Packaging. I realized that at the end of November, when I was listening to one of my videos, that I forgot to talk about a book that I actually read in October, and that was Slay. The author was Brittany Morris, and liked the premise of the story, that it was a gaming world, that it was virtual gaming. This young girl, Kiera, creates this game because all the other games that she's ever played didn't represent people of color like herself, and she wanted a safe place for people of color where they could play a game and represents themselves, represents their culture in so many different ways, as well as making sure that it's a safe place for them to do so, where they're not going to be bullied by others. So she creates this specific world for them in this game. And she works with a partner, and they collaborate together and create this game, this wonderful game. And of course, there always has to be drama to be a good book. Someone has decided that they are biased. The creators are biased, and because of the way that they have to meet certain criteria in order to be able to play in this game. A boy dies. Somehow this person believes that the creators are somehow at fault, and no one knows that it's her that has created this game. It was really good, and I gave it 4 blossoms. So I was reading middle grade reads. The first middle grade that I actually picked up in the month of November was The Star Thief by Lindsay Becker. And basically you have a young girl, this little girl, who's been living in this house since she was a baby, and she doesn't really know much about where she came from, who her parents were, or anything like that. So one night, as she's cleaning, she realizes that there's somebody on the premise that shouldn't be there. She ends up embroiled in this adventure, and they are actually constellations that have come to life. So she goes off on this adventure. She just says, all right, I'll go with you, and off she goes. If I see something else by Lindsay Becker, I will probably pick it up gladly. I picked up another middle grade book after that. It was Aru Shah and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi. She also writes YA, but in this case it is a middle grade, and it is about a young girl named Aru, and she lives in a museum that her mother curates. It is an Indian museum about India and Indian culture, and so she wants to impress these mean kids, and she unlocks somebody from a lamp that should not come out. And so now she has to save the world, and come to find out she's part of this group of Pandavas, kind of like, or little deities. She ends up going on an adventure to save the world. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. So I ended up giving it 5 blossoms. The next book I picked up was an adult book. It was a vampire romance by J.R. Ward called The Jackal. I absolutely love this world that J.R. Ward has created, and I cannot get enough of it. In this book, we have Nyx. She wants to find this prison and save her sister, and they've been looking for it. It's a secret prison for vampires, and she's looking for the prison. She wants to save her sister. She's been gone for about 50 years. She doesn't believe that she's guilty of the crime that she was put in prison for. So she goes and she finds the prison. She's going to break in. She's going to get her sister. She's going to break out. At least that's what she plans on happening. Instead, she meets the Jackal. And he's been there for about 100 years. And of course, nobody that's there, that's imprisoned as a prisoner, has any idea of what is going on in the outside world. They haven't had any contact with the outside world whatsoever. No news, nothing. Nothing from family. No contact with family at all, if they have family. The high lords and ladies of the vampire world they're called the Glamira, and they believe that there should be purity to their vampire world. And if you're deemed impure in any way, they have a tendency to try to find a way of making you disappear. Nyx ends up falling in love with the Jackal, and he with her, and he makes it his mission to try to help her find her sister and then try to get her out safely. There's a lot of twists and turns, and I love J.R. Ward for this. I also got to see a little bit of some of the back history, because they take you back to when before the Jackal ended up in prison and what might have happened to end up putting him there. And you end up seeing Rage when he's like really young before he meets Mary, and then you get to see Darius, who I absolutely positively wish I could have more of, but he died in the first book, in the first chapter. Damn. I love it. I love it. I am trash for the Black Dagger Brotherhood. I am trash for everything that Ward creates. I am. I cannot not pick up a book by her. I have book mail. I'm going to find out what it is. You know what sound I love? That sound. Perfect. The new J.R. Ward. We have Blay, we have Quinn, we have a wedding, we have a blizzard, we have maybe some sad tragedy. I don't know, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Bring the tears. Bring it. I love these books. I'm just thinking. Okay. A Caldwell Christmas. That's what it says right there. Do I read it while there's a nor'easter coming in? Like now? But I'm in the middle of reading The Burnjng God and a bunch of other stuff. Or do I hold off, contain myself until Christmas break, which is only in a couple weeks, which gives me plenty of time to read all the other stuff and get it out of the way. But I really want to read this. Am I going to be able to fully immerse myself in all the other stories if what I really want to do is read this? Does anyone else ever have this dilemma? Because I'm seriously considering taking a break from what I'm currently reading to read this. It's definitely going to be a December read. That's happening because Christmas, and it's part of a series. So the next book I picked up happened to be a book by Nnedi Okorafor. It's a sci-fi. It's not middle grade. And it is called Binti. It's about a young woman who decides that she's going to leave home and she wants to go to university. She wants to study. She feels that this is her path. No one leaves home. No one leaves the tribe. The tribe stay together. They always stay together. They are family. But she leaves in the middle of the night, and bad things happen on the way there, on her ship. But she ends up getting to her destination, and she ends up having to, stop a possible war. She is a harmonizer. That's what she does. She is skilled at math and skilled at trying to mediate and create balance around her. So there's that. And I loved it. I loved the writing style. I can't seem to get enough of Okorafor's writing, and I really want to read some more of it. I gave that 5 stars. It's a novella. It's super short. So if you're looking for a short read and you like sci-fi, this might be for you. The next thing I did was I needed some rom-com. You know what? I keep hearing about these 2 people called Christina and Lauren. And Christina and Lauren get together and they write these books. They write rom-coms and romantic stuff. Yes, romantic and sexy time. And they write it very well. And I enjoyed it very much. It was called Beautiful Secret. It's part of the Beautiful Bastards series. So Beautiful Secret's not going to be the last book I pick up by Christina Lauren, that's for sure. I gave Beautiful Secret 4.5 stars. Binti Home was the next book that I picked up by Nnedi Okorafor. I had to read the second book. It was available, so I grabbed it. It was only 96 pages. but it was 96 pages of intense. Binti decides that she needs to go home. She decides that she has an imbalance that is happening. She's having the time of her life at uni. She's enjoyed her first year there, but she's dealing with the trauma of what happened on that ship, and she's having a hard time with it, and she's feeling like she's left things a certain way at home. She needs to go home, and she needs to find some balance. So she goes home to do a pilgrimage with the women of her tribe. But something deters her, and she does not end up going on the pilgrimage after all. She ends up going on a different little journey. I love reading this journey of Binti's. It's so interesting. I love it. And I love Aurora 4's writing. I just really fell in love with it. The next book I picked up was Aru Shah and the Song of Death, the second book in the Pandava quartet. Yes, there's going to be 4 books. So I picked up Roshani Choksi's middle grade again, and I loved it. She ends up with more friends. She ends up meeting more of the other Pandavas, because she's not the only one. There's like 4, I believe, 3 or 4, and they're always supposed to do these quests together. They're supposed to end up working as a team together. They don't always like each other right away, but you know, things happen to bring them closer. It was really good. You've got people, men in their society, who are being turned into basically zombies. Their souls are being taken, and she has to figure out why that is happening and who done it, and then try to get that reversed. So she ends up going on this adventure with the other kids, and of course she learns, I can't do it alone. So there's that. There's a lot of humor in the dialogue, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really, really sweet story. Then I started the Burnjng God at the end of the month. Again, that is definitely not middle grade. No, that is very, very adult. And R.F. Kuang holds back nothing. You have Rin, you know, when you read the first chapter, that it's like the decisions that she's making, I feel like, are going to just eat away at her very soul. And you want to shake her, but you can't, because she's in a book. I wanted to read the other half of the book, but I couldn't read it because the nor'easter, the first nor'easter of our winter, had happened, and the power went out. So I had limited access to my tablet. It also meant we had no heat, so it was pretty cold. So I spent a lot of time being all bundled up and not really reading, but just trying to stay warm. Just trying to stay warm. But I did read a little bit of the Burnjng God. I was able to at least read half of it. And you know what? Here's a little video of what the day after the night the power went out and waking up that morning might have been like, and then what it was like outside, and what I had to look at for the next 2 days. The nor'easter came in and blew and blew, and now there's no power. Most of Maine has no power. But I powered that before all this happened so that I would have it this morning. I got at least a good 50% charge on the tablet. I'm going to read some more Burnjng God. I got coffee happening, seeping. Thank God for Folgers pouches and gas stove. Coffee's happening. And breakfast. Definitely breakfast. Ooh. I don't know when power will be restored. Brr. Then the power came on before I got home that Monday. And on Tuesday, I had book mail. I had book mail from Lianne. Lianne has an Etsy shop called the Novel Menagerie. She also has a book channel called Literary Diversions. Go check it out. Go check out her shop. I'm leaving the links down below. And here's a little bit of what, I'm going to leave you a little video of what I had to... My package was a little worrisome when I got it. I'm pretty sure it got caught in the nor'easter. I'm pretty sure something got dropped. But I'm damn lucky everything showed up and was still inside the box, because the box was not exactly completely closed. So here's a little video of what I saw when I saw my box, and gladly I'll show you what was in the box as well. I had mail today, you guys, when I got home, and I'm so excited about it. But upon inspection of my package, I have a little bit of a worry. I got a little, I don't know if it got stuck in the nor'easter somewhere or what happened. Okay. That's everything. Sticker. Save that stuff. I'm going to save it. At least these are not warped. These made it okay. Thank you so much, Leanne. You put so much work into these boxes. I love the little notes, even though it was a little bit warped and a little bit water damaged. I was still able to read them, which always brings me so much joy. The confetti, of course, I am part cat, so it falls out, I have to play with it. If you're seeing this, thank you. I love the things that I get from Leanne, and please go check it out. Go give her some love. She's a really amazing person. She really, really is. So onward to what I read next. I finally finished The Burnjng God. Oh boy. Intense. Here, my reaction to the ending.
I just finished it. I just finished The Burnjng God. Damn. Wow. I'm going to need a few minutes. Maybe a day or two. Huh. Mm-hmm.
The end of it took me by surprise. I didn't expect to react the way that I did. It was a very intense trilogy. It was a very intense book. There was a lot of things to unpackage in the book. I'm telling you right now, if you read these books, if you have a hard time with any triggers whatsoever that are violent against another human being, and you can't deal with that very well reading it, don't read the book. But if you don't mind it, if you can get around it, there is a story here that is just so intense and so ultimately, in the end, kind of beautiful in a way, but I just can't explain how it ended up feeling that way. But at the end, that ending, see, I still needed a couple days before I picked up Legendborn and listened to the audiobook of that while I was doing a puzzle. I mean, I couldn't actually pick up a book and actually focus on words. That's why I had to do an audiobook. I was so lucky that Legendborn was something that was available. And that is the next book I picked up. I picked up Legendborn, and I was so surprised. Tracy Deonn did such a good job with a retelling of one of my favorite stories, which was King Arthur and his circle of knights and Merlin and the magic. And I was not paying attention very closely, I guess, when they were hyping this book, because all I could remember was that Bree has magic and she doesn't know where it come from, and she can't ask the person that might be able to answer those questions because it was her mother, and I'm not ruining anything by telling you this. She's dealing with the death of her mom on top of, starting school at a university and being out on her own for the first time ever. And so there is that. And she's also finding out that there are others who actually have magic as well. But how she's involved in that and how she's entwined in that is not what you really expect until you get to the end. And then you're like, ooh, I kind of like that twist. I kind of like that. I like that a lot. And you're kind of hoping that she ends up with somebody, but you know that she's also has feels for this other. And all I can think of is, my God, it really feels like the whole King Arthur and Lancelot and Guinevere romantic triangle. That's what I'm feeling. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We won't know until we read the next book, I think. Yeah. So I can't wait for the next book. I gave Legendborn 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I then found out that Binti, the Night Masquerade, was available for me to open on my Cloud Library app. Of course, it was an audiobook, which is fine. After reading all the other stuff, and I needed another, I don't really have to worry too much about what I'm looking at kind of book. So, yes. Now we have Binti. She's discovered something about her family ancestry on her father's side, and now she's on her way home. She's dealing with the after effects of having that unlocked within her, and now she's heading home because she's seeing visions that her family is in trouble, that they are dying, and she just wants to get home because she just wants to get home. Her family is all she can think about, and all she just yearns to just be there in their time of need. But she knows there's this part of her that realizes she's not going to make it in time if what she's seeing is really what's happening. She gets home and realizes that there is another war that is about to happen because the Kush, who are another tribe that feels that they're just much more advanced than everybody else and just so special, they don't like that she helped with this treaty with this enemy, their enemy, the Meduse, who she's connected to. And so they've decided to do something that ends up possibly causing a war. So now she has to try to stop it. She feels like she's the only one that can stop it. I love Binti's journey, and I loved create the world that Nydia Okorafor has created, and I want more. I want more Okorafor books. I need more Okorafor books. So that was the last book that I just finished last night. It's still sticking with me. The caste system is there. It's in there. I am currently reading Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Very, very soon, after I finish Aurora Burning, I'm going to read A Warm Heart in Winter, which is my favorite two warrior men getting married. Yes! J.R. Ward is giving me Blay and Quinn's marriage. Their wedding, I think. But there's tragedy in the air in the book. There's also Christmas. So it's the perfect friggin' book for my week off. I'm going to read A Warm Heart in Winter after I finish Aurora Burning. If you've made it this far, again, leave me a little emoji down below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Happy reading, everybody. Until next time.